Do the ABCs for me, Jamie.
It's Third Take with the boys. Cody, Love,
Third Take
Cody,
Show.
Jamie St. John, and they're coming home.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you sound good. Welcome to Third Take, everybody. We are not your first or second best NBA podcast, but we strongly believe we're your number one third choice. What's up, guys?
Hey. Long weekend of basketball.
Yeah.
Can I actually share something to start the episode?
Shoot, partner.
Yeah.
Sweet. Give me 1 sec here.
It's always good to start the episode with just 10 to 20 seconds of dead air.
Meta, I've been asking a bunch of players whether they call you Meta World Peace or Ron Artest now, and all the rookies say Meta, and all of the veterans say Ron. What's up with that? Is this some type of hazing?
Well, I'm most happy that Jesus Christ did not let me lose my teeth when I was 20 years old. I was wondering, like, what if you kept your baby teeth until the age of 18 or 20, then you lose them? That would look pretty bad.
That would look really bad.
So I just think he's really brilliant that you lose your teeth when you're a baby rather than lose it when you're like 30 or 20. That has nothing to do with your question, but that was definitely on my mind.
That's what's going on.
That's so wild. That was going to be like my first topic I was going to bring up on the podcast.
The NBA is just not the same without Meta World Peace.
He took the words right out of my mouth, really.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, you're a big believer in that court, the Jesus baby teeth theory.
Keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
Thinking about that.
Well, should we jump into our first segment, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. First segment of the week. Which team in the NBA is your biggest sleeper team you think is going to outperform expectations? And which team is your biggest bust who you think is going to underperform expectations this season? We were starting with Jamie a lot last week, so let's start with Court.
All right. My sleeper. Dang, I kind of have two. But I'm going to go with the San Antonio Spurs.
Ooh.
They're gonna make the play-in. I don't know if they'll make the actual playoff, but they'll make the play-in.
Okay.
And you know what? Fuck it. I say they like, even if they're an 8 or 9 seed, I'm gonna say they get hot and they make the playoff.
Wow.
Because I think, like, we talked about this last week, where I think Jamie, you were talking about like Wemby hitting a rut or whatever. I think he's gonna be like a lot more well-rounded player and like just improve a lot throughout the season and fill out. So I think like by the end of the year, he'll be like a much more consistent, well-rounded player than he is now. And I think they'll like the pieces around them I don't love still, but I think they'll like figure out how to play through him a lot more by the end of the year too.
Nice, Court.
Should I do my disappointment now too?
Hang on,
can I say one thing really quick?
Yeah, go.
I really like that Jeremy Sohan guy too.
Oh yeah, remember him from March Madness a few years ago? He was on.
No.
Oh man, I want to say Gonzaga. I should know this, but I remember him like he was on one of those March Madness teams that went far.
Sweet. Court, I actually have a bet with Forrest Hoffman that the Spurs won't make the playoffs. I have a $5 bet with him. He said they will. I said they won't. So if you want to get in on that action with your pick,
I'll take it if them just making the play-in counts.
That we didn't count that in our bet, but if you want to, how about if
that because like the odds of them making the 16 or the 18 playoff is pretty low. Still, like that's why it's a sleeper.
What about if they're the 9th seed or higher, you win. If they're the 10th seed or lower, because the 10th seed makes the play-in.
All right, deal.
What's the bet?
$5.
$5.
Yeah.
We need a bet tracker too.
Oh, we're on it. Do it here.
Got it.
All right, should I do my bus pick or should other people do their sleepers first?
Let's do sleepers first all the way through, and then we'll come back to bus.
All right, go.
Who you got, Jamie?
I actually had 2 picks as well. Sleepers. I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves though. I think
The
they're
thing is, I don't know how far are they gone? What's your prediction? What's your sleeper?
I think they're a sleeper team, as in they'll make the playoffs this year and make a semi-deep run. I don't think they'll get all the way to the Western Conference Finals, but I think they'll make. I think they'll get to the semifinals, and I think they're going to put up a hell of a fight.
So they win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a sleeper pick then. Yeah. Cool.
I think Anthony Edwards is a rising superstar. I don't think he's quite fully matured yet, like physically but mostly mentally. That dude's a beast.
Yeah.
And he's, he can take over late games, but he also makes semi-poor decisions, and it seems like he feels like he needs to do everything himself sometimes. I don't believe in Cat. I don't know. He's just kind of sketchy to me. But I do think that Anthony Edwards will be an all-star this year. And I think they're going to make a solid run in the playoffs. And I do believe if they add some more talent around them in the next couple of years, they're going to be solid. And they could make a potential title run.
Pat has kind of always...
Bless you. Gesundheit.
Pat has kind of always fallen short based on expectations, being the number 1 overall pick, all that stuff. But his just game and numbers are really good. It's as long as he doesn't have to be the guy, I feel like he can do a lot for your team,
Did you guys see where he said he revolutionized the game? Did you guys see that clip?
Yeah. And that yeah.
That was a pretty lack of self-awareness.
Pat Bev was hyping him up too. I think that's what it was.
They're both pretty suspect. So.
Yeah.
I love Pat Bev though.
I know you do.
Pat Bev pod. Patrick Beverly, if you want to come on the podcast, you have an open invitation.
He's the number 1 guy. No. He's the number 1 guy that you would absolutely want on your team, and if he's not on your team,
I mean, there's a lot of guys I would want on my team more than Pat Bev, but I know what you mean.
Cody, bleep that last time I'm swearing. Should we do a swear tracker, a counter, a jar, swear jar?
Oh yeah.
We'll put a swear counter right above.
We should do a swear jar.
Okay.
Oh yeah, swear jar. I like that.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, and you could rewind this to earlier, but I just spoke 3 languages on this podcast, and we do, love our international fan base. So
that's true.
Shout out to you guys. Konnichiwa, aloha,
bonjour.
Who's your sleeper, Cody?
Minnesota's a good pick. I was gonna go Minnesota, but since Jamie went Minnesota, I will go. Man, I'm torn between the Pelicans. The Pelicans and the Kings aren't really a sleeper anymore.
You'd have to have them go.
It depends on. Yeah, it depends on where.
You say they're going to win the title, then yeah.
I think the Pelicans people are sleeping on, and I think what's crazy is Houston's a 4 seed right now, but I'm not going to pick them because I think they're just going to fall off. Mm-hmm. I think Atlanta's also a sleeper.
Nice. They've been playing well.
Yeah, I think they've been playing well
right now.
He's healthy, baby.
Really?
He's healthy and balling.
He's just dominating grown men.
Pelicans is a good one.
Yeah, Pelicans.
I like Ingram's game too.
And Atlanta, I think they were an okay team last year, but they kind of just kept it all together. They didn't make a bunch of changes, but they were all young and pretty good, and they kept it all together. And I think they're going to be. I think they'll be a playoff team.
I also think that Atlanta has made playoff runs in the past couple of years, but the East is getting better and better. And I think the East is the best it has been in a while this year.
Yeah.
So
especially at the top, especially the top 4 teams in the East are nice.
Yeah. It's a lot more competitive East-West at this point, I think.
I
like that we're going back to the OG NBA All-Star East versus West. That'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. I have an honorable mention sleeper too. The Brooklyn Nets.
I have an honorable mention. I'll go after you. That is a great choice.
Yeah, because they just have a lot of solid guys. I think they're going to actually win games.
Cam Thomas is a beast.
That's funny. We kind of all were thinking that we were going to pick the Thunder earlier, and then no one picked the Thunder.
Well, the only reason I didn't pick him is because I just feel like people aren't sleeping on him anymore.
Yeah.
I think preseason it would have been a sleeper pick. I think 2-3 weeks into the season, they look good. I feel like I don't think anyone's picking them to win the conference finals or anything, but I think everyone thinks they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah. They should win the conference finals in the next 2 or 3 years if they stay together.
Yeah. What are you going to say, Jamie?
I was going to say that I had an honorable mention too, unless you guys had mentioned one of them. I was going to go with the other, but I like the Pacers as well. I think they're a sleeper. Yeah. Tyrese Haliburton, super point guard. We'll talk about him a little bit later.
Oh, we will.
Okay.
Wow.
Damn, we got everyone.
I like Pacers. I think they just have a super solid team across the board. But Tyrese Haliburton looking real good. There was a video of him, and he fakes his screen. Well, he calls for a screen, points, looks, hezzies, and defender just freezes. And no screen came. It was just a beautiful, smart, intelligent play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was super clever.
Yeah.
Nice. Who's your bust, Court?
All right. I have two that I'm going back. I can pick either. They're both going to be busts. So, but I'm going to go with the Clippers. I just don't think that's going to work. Harden has blown up everything over the last several years. Kawhi and Paul George never stay healthy. They're they're a bad defensive team now too. When Paul George and Kawhi originally went to the Clippers, best 2 wing defenders, and they had all these defensive role players too. Now neither of them are the same defender they were back then. I mean, they're both still good to okay, solid defenders, but their starting 5 can't defend anyone, and they don't know who has the ball, whose turn it is.
Yeah,
Westbrook and even Harden are not spot up shooters. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's a good call. Who you got,
nice.
Jamie?
I'm gonna go with the Suns as a bust. I do think that they're going to make it to the playoffs, and I think they're going to have an early exit, first or second round. I just don't see the dynamic working with that many superstars. Those superstars. I think that the super team is overrated and overhyped nowadays. And just because you put a bunch of names together, I don't think that means anything. I also do think that KD's getting a little bit older. If they had a prime KD, things would be different, right?
Yeah.
Not to say he's still not able to drop 30, 40 a game, whenever. But yeah, I think the Suns are going to have an early exit, and legends aren't born; they're created.
A lot of good teams.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah. Warriors.
I haven't given up on the Suns yet, even though they haven't looked great. But I think they all three haven't been healthy yet, and I think they do actually have a solid surrounding cast outside the big 3. And I kind of agree with what you're saying about super teams, but the thing about the Suns' big 3 versus Brooklyn's or whatever the last couple were,
or the Clippers,
I feel like the Suns is closer to what the Warriors were than any of those other big 3s, because all 3 guys can pass, dribble, and shoot.
Yeah,
they're all lights out shooters, and they're a bit of capable to play off the ball, where Harden's not playing off the ball, Kyrie's not doing much off ball either. And in terms of the Brooklyn big 3 with KD, where Booker can run off screens, Beal can run off screens, KD can post up. So I feel like they have a variety, and they all are 3-level scorers, where it's gonna, when they're all healthy and when it all comes together, if they can start gelling, I actually think they could be serious contenders. But
do they have the other pieces in place to make that big 3 work? With the Warriors, we had Draymond and Kevon and these other people that just played their role really well. And
I thought they got some good pieces in the Ayton trade, but
it's kind of it was hard to see Ayton go because really talented big man for that.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the Suns roster and being surprised by the guys they had around. Because Nurkic has looked good too. Nurkic has been healthy, and he hasn't been for a while. And they have Josh Okogie. They got Grayson Allen, Bol Eubanks, but that's a lot of size right there. And they have Watanabe, who's a knockdown shooter. And they have Eric Gordon. Is that true?
They might not be a great defensive team either, though. But I think they could be okay. They could be good enough. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's yours, Cody?
My bust team. I like your pick, Court, of the Clippers. I agree with you there. I have two different ones. I think. Oh shit! I think Lakers.
$20.
Oh, sorry, swear jar. $20. Oh, because
nice,
the F word's the most
You just
expensive.
call it. You just call it out. You call whatever the price is.
Money.
Yeah. Okay. $10,000.
All right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for funding the podcast.
I think the Lakers, I have an East and a West. I think the Lakers are going to be a bust because I think going into the season, people thought they were contenders.
That was my other pick.
And I think
how much of a bust?
I think the Lakers are going to be a play-in tournament.
Same.
And they're going to lose?
They might win the play-in, but either way, they're out in the first round.
Okay.
I don't think they're a top 6 seed, which is a far off cry from, I think, kind of their preseason expectations.
Yeah.
And
I think the Clippers end up in that same kind of spot, too.
And then in the East, I think I'm going to get heat for this, but I think Boston. Boston's my bust because I think their championship or bust, and I think there's 3 teams in the East that are going to be better than them.
Where do they end up finishing this season?
I think they'll finish a pretty high seed, but I think they could lose. I think they could lose.
Do you think they don't make the conference
round.
final? So you think they don't make the conference final?
You think what I think about the Suns?
Yeah. I think it depends on the seeding, but I think they could lose in the second round of the playoffs, which I think would be a bust for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I got the prediction tracker in the works, so we'll have that up and running, and we'll flash that
Nice
during the episode. So, Cody.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Lakers one. I almost picked them.
Cody, right here.
Got it.
The Lakers, like, there's some wild stat about, like, their plus minus when LeBron's played versus him not. Like, they're plus a decent amount with him playing, and minus, they're like minus 35 when he's off the floor, and he's old and can't play that much. So,
And they just, but you never know. The Lakers can do just like what they did last year and make a bunch of trades before the All-Star break and look like a whole different team because they're the Lakers and they have LeBron, so they have all the strings to pull.
But how terrible is that for chemistry? Like, one, you're not only like just bringing in new guys and then like you're starting from somewhat scratch, but also there's probably like some fear with some of the like lower tier guys where they're like, I'm getting fucking cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting freaking
$30. I love this new rule.
I'm getting freaking cut or traded or, if I don't perform. And also being under LeBron, like, I guarantee other players look at that as like extra added pressure. LeBron's your teammate.
Yeah. I remember people talking about that a bunch when he was in Cleveland, like getting rid of guys and bringing new guys in. Like, that it's like you have to be on LeBron's good side.
Even the coach.
Yeah.
Running the show.
Yeah.
That's very true. Do you guys have any other honorable mentions for sleepers or busts, or should we move on to the next juicy topic for this podcast?
I actually also picked the Clippers as like my runner-up.
Nice.
And did you guys want to show the Mavs announcer clip?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ask the producer to pipe this into the Clippers locker room so I can talk to you, James. I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome wisdom about you. Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe
Wait, pause
in
it for a
me.
second.
I believe in you. You wanted a certain coach.
Scoot it back like 5 seconds. Watch how the camera even slowly pushes in because they know what's about to happen. Like this was planned.
Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me.
The face of the guy that is his partner when they pan to him, it's so funny because he's like, he's just
I believe in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You wanted to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You wanted to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh, my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there, and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with the guy believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works.
Look at the
James,
woman.
have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard. You're not the system. You're the problem.
Oh, and the
mic drop.
Devin.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is just crazy.
What do you guys think about that?
I respect it because I agree. I don't know James Harden personally, but from the outside looking in, that guy was spot on. And how many times do you think he practiced that? The delivery was so good.
Yeah, the delivery was very good.
You don't know James Harden personally?
Not anymore.
So you guys had a falling out, so you agree with this guy, probably.
Was he your roommate?
Yeah.
Did he start swiping right?
He was swiping right.
Yeah. That's the main part I agree with. James Harden swiping right for sure. Most
he was swiping right on everything.
Most of his free time, he's swiping right. Definitely agree with that.
Auto swipe right.
Yeah.
I think he's spot on with what he's saying. It seems like for a report, it seems personal a little bit.
It seems
for a reporter to be reporting on the NBA and going at an NBA player that hard is like kind of like stay in your lane a little bit, guy. But
I guess,
but
is he like a reporter or is he like a Mavericks like hype guy who's like clearly, you know what I mean? Like, is he like there to kind of like be biased for the Mavs? I don't really know.
I think he's like the Mavs post-game guy.
Yeah.
And like, they can be super opinionated because they're kind of on a smaller scale like that. But this blew up. So James Harden obviously.
Yeah.
But even if it was like our warrior, like Fitz and Buki, like if it was Fitz, if it was Fitz doing that, we would be like, why is Fitz going so hard on James Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. Like, if I was a GM, though, I would be probably steering clear of James Harden until I see otherwise. So, like, he's right about that. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But
definitely
at the same time, like, he's a shoo-in first ballot Hall of Famer. I feel it. So, I don't know.
I agree. I just think that if James Harden put his skills to a more team-oriented use, that he would really make his teams a lot better.
He has for periods. Like remember, like there'd be like 15 games. There'd be like a month or two for the Nets where it was like, dang, James Harden might be like the best distributing point guard in the league. And then
I agree, 100%. Rockets, when they had like Clint Capella and they ran that pick and roll with Chris Paul too, it was unstoppable because he would either float, pull up, or lob to Clint.
Yeah.
Or go in and get fouled. And then, I do kind of believe that the refs tried to correct, maybe some of the things that James Harden trademarked that were like not natural game movements, right? And he kind of found a loophole. And I do feel like he was targeted a little bit after that so that he wasn't getting calls that maybe he should have gotten just on a normal, level playing field. And I kind of feel like that is part of the reason why he like took a pretty quick decline. Because he went from having that Rocket season or a couple of Rocket seasons and playoff runs when they were playing like prime Warriors and
also
in Game 7.
He was like the entire system with Mike D'Antoni too. I mean, Steve Nash put up crazy numbers when he was that guy too. Yeah. Not quite like Harden, but still, like that system was like made for Harden to put up numbers.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Yeah, he's the system, sure, and he was doing it. He was facilitating, right?
Yeah,
assists, scoring, everything. And Steve Nash like was doing the same, but they still had the pieces, and you still have to like incorporate your teammates and be a good team player too.
And you have to be good enough. Not everyone can do like Steve Nash and James Harden are like not common NBA players. Like you have to be good enough to have the ball to create an offense around you where the ball's in your hand 90% of the time, unless you're kicking out or throwing a lob. Like, it's pick and rolls for them every play. Like you have to be so good at pick and rolls for them to, create a whole offense around you. But I do think he's right that what you're saying, Jamie, about James Harden going other places after Houston and not being the same, that part of it is the system, but I think James Harden just got spoiled in Houston thinking that you can go other places and play that style of basketball because he was just like everyone at Houston, the GM, the coach, and all the players were brought in to play around James Harden. Where if you go anywhere else where there's other stars and other coaches with other philosophies where it's not kind of built to be the James Harden system, it just doesn't work.
Good point.
Yeah. I still feel like he did it for stretches of games in Philly. Like he was just like a pure point guard, like distributing, not around him for like medium-sized stretches in both Philly and Brooklyn. But I don't know, maybe he was unhappy with that was the problem. Like he did it for a month or two, but then was like,
I honestly think too when he held Houston hostage to get out of there and got really out of shape, when he was like not 25, he was like 29, 30 when that's happening. Like it's a different thing to like gain 30 pounds and lose 30 pounds when you're 30 than it is when you're 24. And
that's true.
And he to me has still never looked as lean as when he was in his prime in Houston. Even since coming back and getting back in shape, he still is like when you go back and look, you're like, oh shit, James Harden was really like lean back then.
$70.
All right, what's next?
I knew that was a bad one. Okay.
Can I say one last thing?
No.
Nope. We'll get into this another time, but it's sad that James Harden and Joel Embiid didn't work out in Philly because what a dynamic duo right there.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 MVPs and relatively like not far apart, MVP season wise. Like,
yeah, that's true.
All right, let's do this thing. Next segment.
Next segment.
Wait, first though, sorry, I've been waiting to do this. We can cut this out. I'm taking a shot. Second episode, baby.
What? Second episode?
First time doing a second episode.
Oh, first time doing the second episode. That's true. Cheers, everybody.
Tropicana orange juice from the Great Plains of Florida.
Nice.
And the trees. There.
Is it good or what?
It's actually really not.
Oh. But sponsor us, Tropicana.
Yeah, it's a good ad.
Your orange juice is not that great. High Noon, once again, our favorite sponsor. They pay us so much money every week. Watermelon flavor. This week.
La Croix.
Get refreshed.
That was really good.
Yeah.
French right there. Nice.
That was good French. Okay,
again, our international fan base. We love you, France. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yep.
Yes.
Victor, if you want to get on the show, talk to your French fan base. We can help you grow it too.
We should extend an invite to the show to Victor every single week until he comes on. We did it last episode. We've done it, I think, twice this episode already.
Can you say it all in French again, Cody, like you did last time? Because he may not be able to understand what we're saying.
Oui, monsieur. Victor Wembanyama. Nous allons jouer au podcast avec tu.
Nice job. Way to go.
Thanks, guys. Okay, next segment. Top 5 point guards in the NBA today. Whew. That's a tricky one.
So excited for this one.
Who wants to go first? Oh, and should we go 5 to 1 or should we go 1 to 5?
I'm going to go 1 to 5. I can also go 5 to 1. I'm good like that. You guys just tell me which way.
You got that kind of versatility?
Yeah.
Damn. All right, let's start with Court.
No, start with Jamie.
Okay.
Cody, why don't you start? Because you don't start that many segments.
Okay.
I'll go second. Court, you can go third.
Okay, I got...
Or wait, do you want to go second, dude? I don't... Yeah, I want you to be happy.
Well, some of my guys, I just don't know if they're like actually considered a 1 or a 2. Okay, I'll go first.
Really?
Is
Nice,
Anthony Edwards a 1 or a 2?
Not a 1.
He's a 2.
Tyrese Halliburton.
1.
Okay. All right. In 5th place, I feel I'm for sure forgetting someone, but
doesn't matter. Go just right off the
place,
top. Baby.
I've got Trae Young.
Ooh,
I feel
nice.
like he has like matured in his like he was always had like a nice bag, but like he was kind of like
SGA, point guard or shooting guard?
Point guard.
Really?
Yeah.
He's listed as a point guard.
So why don't you rethink your list over there, Court?
Yeah.
All right, Cody, why don't you go first? Court, you go second. I'll go third.
No. I have mine right now. Then Tyrese Halliburton, SGA, Dame Lillard, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry. Number 1.
And that was 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Nice list.
Wow.
Trae would be 6 then.
You have Halliburton at 5.
Yeah. You said Halliburton, Dame, Trae.
No,
Luka,
Halliburton, SGA.
Then
Dame.
Halliburton, SGA, Dame.
Luka.
So wait, so Trae's not on your list.
Nah, he's 6 then.
Okay.
You guys are crazy for this.
Cool.
Okay, Jamie,
nice, dude. Oh, you're gonna love my list then, Cody. Do you want to elaborate on anything, Court, on your list, or are you good?
Nope.
Like
lock it in.
Yeah.
Let's lock
I think we got to get our list, and then we'll debate spots.
Lock it. Do an edit. Yeah.
No.
All right.
This wasn't
5 to 1. 5 to 1. This is going to be a good list. I want to hear you guys' response on this. I got Dame at 5. I got Tyrese Halliburton at 4. I got De'Aaron Fox at 3. I got Luka at 2, and I got Steph at 1.
Guys. Yeah, that's a nice one. Fox and Trae Young were tied at 6 for me.
Are you just going to say Tyrese Halliburton's not that good, Cody?
Can I say one thing about...
Yeah, I got tears. I have a whole thing going on over here. Yeah, say something about your list.
Let me I have a couple of things to say about my picks. I
like
De'Aaron Fox, I still think is the most underrated player in the league and probably has been for like 3 or 4 years. I think that if there was an award for most underrated player, he would win it every single year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is it just the Kings market? Like people just don't watch Kings games? He is so explosive. He's the most athletic point guard in the league. Yeah. He's so fun to watch. He's super talented. He all around game. Defensively,
he can knock down the 3 ball.
Clutch. Huh?
He can knock down the 3 ball better than people think he can.
Yeah.
He has everything. Pull up, finishes around the rim. Dude, and like the sneaky bounce when he could just like rises up on somebody super quick and posterize. Like, love that guy.
I think the fastest player in the NBA.
Wait, really quick. Top 5 one more time real quick though, Jamie.
Okay. Dame, Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, Luka, Steph.
So SGA is not in there.
Nope. And before De'Aaron Fox got injured, he was averaging 32, 4, and 6 with 1.3 steals. Yeah, I think he's number 3 point guard in the league.
I can't believe neither of you guys had this man on your list. He's not even my Cody. 5th spot. He's my 4th spot.
Go.
I have SGA at 5. I have Ja Morant at 4.
Nah, he fell off.
He's not. Wait.
He didn't fall off. He got suspended.
He didn't fall off.
When he was in the league,
suspended for so long.
He was up there with Luka and Steph. He was like,
no,
he was climbing.
Is, but like, I just didn't include him. Like, it's like if someone's injured for like half the year, or like he's out for so long that I just didn't put him in.
Okay,
but I think it's going to be this.
Him, but he would be 4 for me if we weren't replacing him.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the Ben Simmons effect, where he's gotten trashed now for, let's just face it, being an idiot. I'm sorry, but flashing a gun multiple times, like as a role model.
Ben Simmons was different, though, because Ben Simmons was on the court stuff.
But he no. This is what I'm saying.
Court said.
Hold on. I'm saying he's going to get ridiculed more so than he probably already has in the public eye. And I think that takes a major toll on people's psyche, on the mental side of the game. And I think there's plenty of examples of people who have gone through something and it has nothing to do with their basketball game, but it then affects their game because of the way the people online, fans, the media, everything. And like, that would be really hard to deal with. I think some people can deal with it, some people can't. And I'm just saying, I don't think Ja Morant will be able to like fully come back from it. I think he has a tainted image. So I think for people to see Ja Morant, waving a gun around, like there's going to be still a ton of backlash.
Yeah.
But you think that'll make him play worse?
Yeah, I think it'll affect his psyche, his mental game, and I think that will affect his game, his physical game.
I agree that I think it's going to affect his psyche, but I think his level of talent, it's different than, even though the backlash could be as much or more than Ben Simmons got, I think the difference is when you're the type of player who can drop 40 and dunk on everyone in the league, when you're going under something like that, you come back with a vengeance and try to dunk on everybody in the league, which is what I think he's going to try to do. Where Ben Simmons, it's like he can't drop 40. So when people are like, he can't drop 40, he's under all this backlash, and then he can't back it up because he's not really a volume scorer like that, then it spirals downhill. But when you're Ja, you're like, oh, you're writing me off now when I know I'm top spot.
The thing is Ben Simmons was talented enough not too long ago to drop 40. He was going to be like, everybody thought he was going to be a generational talent. And he, for a little bit in the league, he was one of the best players in the league, up and coming.
His whole criticism, though, was like,
it's not like he just got dramatically worse physically. Like, you don't lose skill that quickly mentally.
Yeah. His whole criticism, though, like, he got in his head because people were criticizing him not becoming the player he should be on the court. And then he got in his head about not being able to do that. Like, that's why it's way different, is because, like, he, like, choked, basically, like, really hard, and, like, was, like, passing up opportunities and showed that he was scared, and people exposed that, and that, like, got in his head on the court. Whereas, like, I don't know.
I'm saying the same thing is going to happen to Ja. Not in the exact same way, but he's going to come back. People are going to hate on him. Maybe he has, like, a couple of bad games to start, and it's going to be, like, kind of a downhill ride. I don't wish that upon anybody, but I'm just saying that I see that happening.
So there's also been some players who have, like, gone through, like, big criticism like that and have come back with a vengeance, though, too.
I think some people can, some people can't.
I mean, shoot, like, even Michael Jordan, you could argue, like, had a lot of, like, Kobe. Yeah. Kobe's probably the best one.
A lot of people. But I think, for sake of the list, I'll take Ja off my spot because he's been out for so long that he'll get a asterisk. But he would be 4th if he's playing.
No, keep him in. I think that's a good, like, because he's going to finish the season. We're going to see him.
Yeah, okay. So I got Ja. I got SGA at 5, Ja at 4, Dame, Luka, Steph. And
Damn, we all have Steph, Luka. Nice.
The top of my list, though, they're 1A, 1B right now to me. Luka and Steph.
I'm surprised you didn't put Luka first.
Me too.
Yeah, it's just out of blind fandom that I chose Steph over Luka.
Just respect.
That's my only reasoning.
Just straight respect.
Just because I love Steph. And then I have Fox, Trey, and Jamal Murray all tied basically for that 6th spot, just outside the top 5.
And for some reason, I thought Jamal Murray was a 2 also, but I guess I'm wrong.
He kind of is a combo guard.
Yeah. Murray's underrated.
I would take him as a point guard. I really want Jamal Murray to be a top 5 point guard, but he gets injured too much. And it's weird because every time I watch him and he has a really good game, it almost surprises me.
Yeah.
Whereas Steph, Curry, or Luka, they have a great game, and I'm like,
he's also never going to be in that Steph, Luka, or even maybe Dame territory because he has Jokic on his team.
He's had some performances though earlier on before they won a championship. You can't
consistently be the guy when you play with Jokic.
Yeah, you're right. Jokic is the guy. He will be the guy.
Even assist wise, even I don't know. He just does everything a lot.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Hang on, Jamie. Who do you have? You don't have SGA in your top 5? Who's your 4 or 5 that are ahead of SGA?
Dame is 5, and Tyrese Halliburton is 4.
Oh, Halliburton.
He leads the league in assists.
Yeah.
I think he's a true point guard, and I really enjoy him.
Halliburton, I like him a lot, but to me, he's still a year or 2 out from this because I think Fox, Trae Young, Murray, these guys still are ahead of Halliburton to me, where he's kind of in the Brunson, Darius Garland, just that next tier down from these guys for me right now. I know he's up and coming and he's a baller, but he's not top 5 for me yet.
I'm kind of bummed out that Trae Young isn't in my top 5. Yeah. And I contemplated after Court said that about putting him in, but
I would actually.
I don't know what it is.
Out for De'Aaron Fox, honestly, and the Jaw thing, I think Jaw's going to be good when he comes back, but I'm just not included. He's disqualified for me right now.
Wait, why do you have Dame so low, Jamie?
I just think he needs time to adjust. So if I'm not looking at current. I'm not looking at all time.
Yeah,
I'm looking at currently. If we were to draft 5 point guards this year, based on their talent right now, that's who I'm going with in their situations. I think Dame actually probably could climb that list back up to 2 or 3. But right now, I just feel the whole new system, he just needs to adjust, and then he'll get back to that. Because I do think he'll lead them in scoring. I think he'll lead the league in scoring, or close to it. I forget who I picked. I think
you picked Dame, yeah.
I think I picked Dame, yeah. So I picked Dame. No, he is leading the league in points. So no question about that.
And so he's worse than Tyrese Halliburton, though?
I think right now, Tyrese Halliburton is leading the league in assists right now. Dame is not. If you asked me in 6 months from now, maybe my list is different.
It's fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
Dame's had a few rough games.
Look, if you're not fluid and you don't have a growth mindset, I got news for you, buddy. That's not good news.
Damn, that's some wisdom right there. Okay, guys, I think... Court, you got anything else to say?
Nope.
All right,
so
I think...
every week we should do now shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and then we should come back and do all-time lists of that, and then we should come back and basically I think that should be a segment every week is we do a top list, because I think that brings a lot of good debate.
Yeah, that was a good little section right there. The top list, that's what we'll call it. And Court has to take his shirt off every time.
Do it, Cordy!
Ready!
Dude, come on, you're the most ripped out of any of us right now.
That's not true, but
yeah, it is.
I'm working on it.
I know Cody's sexy, but he's kind of toning up, thinning down. You're thick.
No, I need to tone up and thin down. All right, what's next?
All right, guys. Next is Rim Rascals. Every week, we vote.
And now Court.
That's the Rim Rascals signal.
Court,
I'm too cool.
Damn,
I'm staying cool because I'm composed and focused for my clip to win.
Nice.
Nice.
So every week we vote on who the Rim Rascal of the Week is, and this is the top dunk. And one person, we all bring different clips for our top dunk, and one person at the end of the segment gets the championship Rim Rascal title, and they will be mailed the Rim Rascal trophy, whichever NBA player it is.
Court's really hyped up about this one. I didn't think you were. This is your favorite segment, Court?
No, I'm just trying to win everything.
I know you like extra fired up about this one. Yeah. I like it. I just am surprised.
It's because Court's a little Rim Rascal.
You are a Rim Rascal, Court.
Okay. Who wants
Court,
to go
Rim Rascal?
Rascal. Rascal on the sheets. Rascal at the rim.
All right. How are we gonna do this?
Do we have Rim Rascals be a Scottish segment? Rim Rascal.
It's the Rim Rascals of the Week.
Oh my God, that was really good.
Thanks. Use it.
First Rim Rascal of the Week. Let's get into it. All right, here's Jamie's submission for Rim Rascal of the Week. I can't wait. Let's see.
Get the sound up, because it's part of the vibe.
Massive dunk for Jalen Johnson. The bench explodes, and another powerful jam by Jalen. My goodness.
Put him on a poster.
I think the energy of the crowd, the bench, all around, beautiful dunk. That's on two dudes.
And it happened so quickly.
Wow.
He turns his corner.
Can you play it full speed one more time for us?
Damn, Hardenstein.
Can you just play it full speed one more time?
Jay Griffin.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Yeah, that's
all right,
a nice
one, and then let's discuss after we see them all.
Okay, that's a nice pick, especially how Josh Hart just falls on his back and collapses like he died. That's a nice pick.
Jalen?
Okay.
Got you, buddy.
Okay, this is Court selection for Rim Rascal. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, nice.
That is aggressive.
With the left, too. Yeah.
I just like the fact that, like, that looks so easy for him, kind of still. Like, he can just, like, start. A guy who's 7'4" can start from the wing and go in like that. Like, that's
where does he take off from? Because it looks seamless, like you said, but
I don't even think he jumps that high. He's just so long.
Oh.
And then that's KD back on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he takes out outside of the circle.
What's nice about that is they go chest to chest, and then he hangs for a second, and then dunks it on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what's yours, Cody?
Whoa, wait, Cody, what's that video down in the left-hand corner there?
Oh,
is that the first episode of Third Take?
That looks really cool.
God.
I'll have to check that out later.
That must have millions of views already if it's the first video that popped up.
It looks way better than any of these other
Go and
thumbnails.
watch it. Yeah. Do you want to be an idiot that hasn't watched something that millions of others have? Don't be. Go watch our first episode.
And don't be thrown off by the view count on YouTube. It's probably off.
Yeah.
The numbers haven't updated yet.
Yeah, it takes some time. I have two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
I have two. I think one's my...
Wait, you're going to put in two to our one?
I mean, he's disqualified from winning, but let's watch him.
Yeah.
I like that, Court.
I think one of them you guys won't count, but it should be acknowledged as Rim Rascals, and one of them's my submission.
Oh, is it the one where he doesn't fully dunk it? Yeah.
No. That's not it. Okay, this is my actual submission because, just very unexpected.
Oh, you know what?
Not this right here.
Carroll played a year at Duke. He's their assist leader. D'Lo throws it down.
Nice choice.
You don't see D'Lo punching on Paolo Banchero every day.
Yeah.
And is really on him.
I will say that I almost chose the clip before when Austin Reeves threw that lob to LeBron because that was smooth as hell. And, we really got to appreciate LeBron while we still have him. And that was just vintage LeBron right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know he's the oldest player in the league now?
I would have guessed, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. as of this year. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Okay, and this is my honorable mention because it's so impressive, but it's mainly the pass, and I don't think it got enough attention. And this is my other submission for Rim Rascal of the Week, primarily because of the pass.
Wiggins headed back the other way. Curry on the trail.
Oh.
Nestled up so he couldn't launch that
It's
three.
so spotty.
And then no-look lob. And GP2 180s it.
Yeah, I remember this one. That
is crazy.
It was super laggy for us.
Oh, the video was?
It was very laggy, but I know exactly the play you're talking about. I
remember this one too. He just lobs it over his head like that.
And he's walking away from the hoop.
When you can catch it, yeah.
Like if that was Magic Johnson or Draymond Green, that would be an all-time career highlight reel pass. He's walking away from the hoop. Yeah. He's at like the NBA. His other shoulder's to the hoop. He has the ball at his hip, and he just flicks it, and it's a perfect hoop to GP2, who not only catches it and reverse dunks it, but has enough time to catch it perfectly with the timing and placement, and then do a little double pump and dunk it. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that is one of the most impressive dunks that, like, D Wade used to do this, a bunch of guys do this, but catching it 180 back to the rim and being able to have like the body awareness to be able to dunk that behind you.
Yeah.
That's J.R. Smith has that crazy amazing one. It's like unrolled to like top.
J.R.'s OG. Totally.
Trust me, guys. I know whenever I try to do that, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Like I'll get it every once in a while.
I'll usually just end up finishing the 360 and slam it.
I usually windmill, turn around, and like kind of like thrust just to get a little flop, just to give the defender like an extra little. Gotcha. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
because there's no better dunk than a wiener flop dunk.
Yeah, that's true.
Weenie flops. I think probably the most fair way to vote on this is you can't vote for your own, and we all have to vote for one of them to be Rim Rascal.
Okay.
Let me think.
I mean, I've got it.
How do we do it? Oh, let's write it down and then show
I've got mine
our
too.
paper.
No, let's do 3, 2, 1.
Let's just take turns going in a row.
No, because I think collusion for sure.
That's collusion.
100%.
I think let's say 3, 2, 1, and then let's all say the persons who we got.
Okay, and scream it really loud.
3, 2, 1.
Jamie wins Rim Rascal. So who's that?
Jalen Johnson. Congratulations, you've won the first Rim Rascal.
I mean,
this is history in the making.
My favorite one overall was the Steph pass one, but that was not so much because of the dunk.
Yeah, I didn't think it really counted. I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
But can we show him some respect, Court, please?
Jalen Johnson, good job.
Congratulations.
No, me. That was my selection.
Well,
Jalen,
show me respect for the video.
Jalen did a lot of the work, I think.
I'm sure it means a lot to Jalen, so I'm going to give him my respect.
Do you know how much time it takes to jump up and dunk a ball versus how much time it takes to do your research on YouTube for the best dunk of the week for Rim Rascals? Yeah, rethink that.
Yeah, that's not a bad point.
All right.
You know what, Jalen? I'll take this home for myself.
Okay.
Sorry, Jalen. It was the first week of Rim Rascals. We tried to get you a trophy, but Jamie claimed it for himself. We have to apologize, Jalen.
Do better next time, I guess, Jalen. All right, let me hop to it then. I saw this on TikTok a few days ago, but it was that if like they switched places chronologically and like LeBron had his exact same career, but it happened when Jordan's happened, and Jordan had his exact same career, but it happened like now when LeBron's happened, so they just flipped who came first. That LeBron would be the like undisputed GOAT. Because he would have 4, he would own all of the record books. Like he would be first in like everything. Jordan would win 6 rings, but like everyone would be like, LeBron dominated for 20 years, owned all the record books, and Jordan just wouldn't be able to like do enough to surpass that. Even he basically have the rings, and that's it. But the fact that he came first and like the undefeated legacy kind of like just built this whole like mythology around like him.
Yeah.
Made it hard for LeBron to pass. But I think that mythology would go around LeBron being like, he was been great for 20 years, and the first in scoring. I think he's going to end up top 3 in assists all time.
He'll probably end
the
up
rebound record
top
books
everything.
Too.
Yeah.
I think that would play differently if he came first.
I like what you're saying, Court. Like, I hear your argument. And I think the exact opposite.
Really?
So I think that LeBron in the Jordan era actually wouldn't have been as dominant. And
that's not even what I was like saying. I was just saying, you take their career and you say that like whatever they have now, you just say LeBron was first. And
they just did that first.
But we can go that direction too if you want. I don't really know what I think about that.
Yeah,
But what's your take on what you were saying? I mean,
well, my take on what I was saying is that I think it was actually more physical back in the Jordan era. And I think LeBron partly, I mean, he's so skilled, he's so talented, he's so smart. But I think partly he dominates because he's just more physical, or was more physical than a lot of his competition in the era of, early 2000s beyond.
My take on that is that I think LeBron and Jordan would have been just as good as either era. Jordan would dominate today. LeBron would like, they're both so good that there's just.
So you don't think Jordan? So you don't think Jordan is better or worse in one era or the other? Same with LeBron.
Not really. Because Jordan, you could say would be worse because he wasn't a great shooter. But I think Jordan would just become a great 3-point shooter. Like, he would focus on that way more. LeBron is really physical. Like, I think he'd be able to hang with the physical game of the 90s, and he's so much more skilled. Yeah, I think they'd both just dominate.
I think he would hang with the physicality, but I think, one, he wouldn't have the longevity that he had, because I bet you he'd get injured.
That might be true.
And I also think that just the overall physicality would not allow him to dominate physically as much as he had in his era.
Mm-hmm. I think guys were less skilled, but like, his skills would probably stand out even more, though.
That's probably true, but I think there was more tolerance for hitting a guy hard fouls, and LeBron is not a good free throw shooter either. You know what I mean? Like, so that there's kind of like a respect thing too in the league. Like, you don't really go at LeBron. That one crazy dude on the Pistons. It's just one of the best videos. Yeah. Like, it's so crazy.
I actually think.
Go ahead, Cody. Yeah.
I think. Well, now there's like 3 different questions. Court, your initial question. Court, your initial question of if they. I do think LeBron's legacy coming first. The mythology around that would be hard to overtake. It would be so crazy. But I do think that actually that serves Jordan better, because I think the take LeBron gets from being in this era is that it's much harder to win 6 in a row in this era. Where if Jordan came second and he won 6 in a row in today's game, that might give Jordan more credibility than him doing it back then. Because now there's.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Well, now it's been done too. When Jordan did it, he did it, and no one else has done that. It was undisputed that he was the greatest.
Yeah, then now LeBron, it would be even longer that no one had done it.
Right. And then LeBron comes along, challenges the greatness, but the one thing that people use against him, you didn't get those 6 championships. But if he did it first, and it was like LeBron's the greatest, but he only had 4 championships.
4.
And then MJ came along and did what he did, won 6 out of 6. I think he would actually become the undisputed. So
and I think,
good hot take, but I
think that would actually help Jordan's case. But I think Jamie's
point thing, like it being so much harder, I didn't even really think about that. I don't know. I guess that's part of the question. Yeah.
I think to Jamie's point, I think LeBron actually would have been better if he played later. Because I think today's game.
Wait,
you mean earlier?
Earlier, yeah. If he played in Jordan's era, I think his legacy would be better, and I think he would be just better because I think in today's game they made rules to make it a shooters league. They sped up the game. They increased 3-point percentage. Where LeBron, I think, is with the exception of like Wilt Chamberlain and Shaq.
Yeah.
Like as far as a wing guard skills player, he's the most physical specimen ever. And I think if he played in an era that rewarded physicality more than 3-point shooting, he would be even more dominant. That's my thing with LeBron, where like that would serve him very well if Steph Curry wasn't allowed to take 15 threes a game playing against him.
Yeah.
And
if you think about it, like slashers were like really valuable then, and he's like the best slasher like ever.
Yeah. I think, and like his biggest weakness in today's era was his 3-point shooting for a long time, and that just wouldn't be looked at as a weakness back then. He would be like a solid 3-point shooter.
You said about the free throws though, that like he probably gets sent to the line a lot. That would kind of like him.
But they call it tighter.
He's not very reliable as a free throw shooter. That's the only thing that would kind of like.
Wouldn't he go to the free throw line less though? Because they call it tighter today. It's more ticky-tack.
Oh, yeah, but he goes to the free throw line less. But it's not like he's making it every time. Like then he gets fouled more on a shot. Nothing's getting called. I think there would be more no calls. And I think, but then that might shape LeBron differently because I think LeBron has become this kind of. They call him a little whiner. He is kind of a whiner. I mean, he doesn't get a call and like he freaks out. And I love LeBron, and the debate of him and MJ in my mind is there's no answer. So I respect him a lot, but I do think he's become very whiny, and I think it's a result of him being allowed to be like that and the overall culture in the NBA. It's like similar to soccer. No offense, Court, but it's so whiny.
We know you played intramural soccer, Court.
Sorry, Court. This is a direct attack.
That was my favorite part of soccer too.
And like it is strategical in a way. But anyways, I think that LeBron maybe actually would have turned out to be more dominant if he got less calls and less like superstar treatment. I think it would have made him tougher. And I do think he's the most physical, athletic specimen, one of them to ever play in the league. So if you unleash even more of that, I'm just going through people and we'll finish. And I'm not looking for a foul. I'm not looking to take the contact and get the whistle. I'm going to finish on someone every time. I don't know. I mean, LeBron could do that.
I also think that going back to Court's initial question, one thing that would really be hard for Jordan to pass up LeBron if LeBron came first is LeBron would have the scoring record still in this era. And everyone, when everyone's like, Jordan would average 50 in this era if he played.
True.
Just says ridiculous stuff like that. I think if LeBron came first and Jordan still didn't beat his scoring record, everyone would be like, LeBron would average 100 if he played in today's game. You know what I mean? Like that saying would be ridiculous if LeBron came first.
Yeah.
That's like Wilt Chamberlain. How would Wilt Chamberlain do in this day and age?
But that was like so long ago that people are just like don't even like make you know what I mean? They don't even say like what he would do today.
Yeah. Before the 80s, I put an asterisk on stats and rings.
It is so different. Like if you watch footage from back then, it's just like
even the 80s. You watch basketball in the 80s and like up to mid 90s.
Way different.
It's a very different game.
But Cody's point about the championships thing, like now I'm picturing like someone winning 6 in a row today. That's like
if LeBron
was it 6 in a row?
Well, he took a year off.
Technically, it was 3 and 3.
Yeah. Like just imagining, like thinking about the teams today and imagining someone do that would be like that would be pretty noteworthy. So I don't know.
Well, no one's done it. Yeah. No one's still done it.
Like if LeBron did that today, I don't think there would be that much of a debate. If LeBron was
that's the only thing people use against him. That's it.
Yeah.
And maybe the clutch thing too.
Yeah.
Wait, so where do you guys stand on it just as is? Who's your GOAT?
I think go ahead. Well, MJ.
Yeah, probably.
And that's just because it's a perfect championship record. And that's the ultimate goal is to win championships. So if you're looking at the absolute best player, this goes back to the MVP debate. Like, overall best player ever. And you could say Bill Russell has 10 championships or what this and that, but that was in an era that we don't necessarily take into account. And
it is an impossible question though. And LeBron playing so well like this year is kind of like influencing me a little bit. Like, even though it like kind of shouldn't really matter in terms of like overall accomplishments, like him being like a top 10 player in his 20th year when he's like almost 40 is like like no one has even come close to that.
I kind of think
that's where the debate is hard, because we've said this before: longevity versus like just straight perfect record.
I think
if I was drafting a player, I'd probably if I was drafting a career, like what someone was going to do for me for over the span of their career, I'd probably take LeBron, because like, you know what I mean.
I think that's an interesting
another hot take
would be if they played at the same time, who would people say is the greatest? Because if they played at the same time, do you think Jordan would be scoring more points than KD's been scoring while LeBron's been here? LeBron's been unanimously better than KD, even though he hasn't been the best whatever ISO score in the league. So that's
Jordan's just been a lot better like in the playoffs than KD overall.
Yeah, that's true.
Who was considered better when it was Kobe and LeBron?
Well, Kobe for a while, and then LeBron passed him up.
Yeah.
After Kobe won that 09 championship, the last one.
I think LeBron was.
I think it was a little before that.
03, 04, right? LeBron 03, 04.
03.
And then
I think it was 08.
I think it was like Shaq till 05, and then I think Kobe had probably 6 to 9 or 10, and then I think LeBron.
Oh, really?
LeBron was kind of like all the
10s. A little sooner than that. But yeah.
What'd you say, Court?
I thought LeBron passed up Kobe a little sooner than that, like 08.
Let's leave it for the next hot take.
Kobe was only the best player in the world for 2 years, maybe.
But that's something too that Michael Jordan benefits from, of basically not winning rings, but walking into the NBA. Everyone was kind of like, oh, he's better than everyone. Almost since he walked. He didn't have the titles in the resume, but everyone around the league, I feel like, we're like, oh, he's better than everyone in the league.
LeBron, too, kind of.
Magic and Larry Bird were still in the league.
Yeah, but didn't Jordan come in and average 35 as a rookie? He just came in and was
but he couldn't even get past. He couldn't even get past the conference finals.
I don't think his numbers are that crazy, but I don't know.
He averaged 28, 6, and 6 as a rookie.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's what you just come in doing that. It's like you can't come in and do that today.
Nah.
Wembanyama's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna.
I don't think he's gonna.
I don't think he is
he might
either.
Average 24 though, 25.
I think he could. I don't think he will. The crazy thing is, if you look at Magic Johnson's numbers and you look at the amount of games he played compared to his stats, accomplishments, accolades versus everybody else, that's pretty impressive. That changes the certain debates in my head, where I kind of write off Magic Johnson, but then you look at how short his career was and how much he did, and that's
Well, that's where the word of greatest versus best really defines the era. Because if you're talking about greatest, to me, it's how much you dominated your era, which is why I have Jordan over LeBron. But I think LeBron might be the best player ever, but Jordan was greater in comparison to his counterparts during his era.
Yeah,
and I think
there was no question.
And I think Magic, Steph, kind of that same thing. Magic was greater, I think, in comparison to his counterparts, whereas Steph, I'm drafting Steph first if there's a fantasy draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to Buckets and Buds, guys. We have some fan questions.
Nice.
Wait, I'll be right back. Hang on.
That was a good segment.
Yeah, dude, this is a good episode.
Yeah, this is a good episode. I kind of thought it was going to be flat, and it totally wasn't.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't know if these topics were juicy enough, and they got real juicy. Cheers. I hate how early it gets dark. I feel like the day's over at 6 o'clock. Oh no. What happened there? Is it the damn orange juice again that sponsored us?
Tropicana. It's really good.
Tropicana. Well, you won't throw up in your mouth.
Tropicana, make some better orange juice. Oh man. Well, you know how sometimes you take a shot? I take a shot. I take a sip of my chaser first, and then I take a shot, mix a drink in my mouth, and then take it down. Yeah,
a lot.
It's like a good mixed drink. It's yummy.
Yeah, but then you leave the hard alcohol in your mouth for so long, and you taste it more.
That's the risk. So it's exciting because you take a shot and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to taste orange juice, if I'm going to taste vodka, or if I'm going to get a nice little like screwdriver. That time was straight vodka, and you pay for it sometimes.
Wow! Last segment right before the Warrior game starts at 5:30.
Yes, baby. Let's go. What a night!
I know.
Hey, everybody, let's just take a second. Let's appreciate life. Let's just enjoy a couple of buds, doing a potty.
Yeah.
Going to the potty with your boys is one of the best things ever.
Doing just a huge, massive potty with your boys is the best.
And then a Warriors game. Yeah. Doing a potty and a Warriors game with your boys.
Take another shot, Jamie.
There's nothing left on the bucket list after that, I'll tell you that.
Okay, guys, we have several questions actually this week for the Buckets and Buds segment. Again, it's from username Papa Smurf. Papa Smurf chimed in. He wants to know who's going to win today's battle between the OKC and San Antonio skyscrapers.
Nice.
So they go head-to-head tonight. He wants to know who's going to win that. Let's start there. Who do you guys think is going to get the better of who tonight?
I hope that it's Chet gets the better of Wemby, personally, because I want my predictions to come true. And I think that's the way it's going to go.
Here's the other thing. They don't play today, I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, wait.
This might be...
How long ago was this submission?
He submitted his just minutes ago, honestly. Today's battle between the OKC and San Antonio skyscrapers. They're not playing today, so Papa Smurf...
the San Antonio skyscrapers, is that a nickname that Papa Smurf came up for the team? Because that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
so. Or is that like... Nice.
Or I think he was talking about between the two skyscrapers of Chet and Wemby.
Oh, so here's a good question Papa Smurf also had.
We love you, Papa Smurf. We do still love you.
Yeah, you are our number one fan. We love you. Court?
Yeah, you and Wemby are my two favorite fans.
Nice. Yeah, Wemby is a big fan of the show. If Steph keeps going at this same pace for the whole year, will he win the MVP?
Yes.
Court?
Dang. Wait, does that mean that... Is that saying everyone's going at their current pace?
No. Everyone finishes the way they finish. Steph puts
then
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to do better than what Steph is doing right now.
At this point in time, right now, Steph leads the NBA in total points scored.
Really?
So he's
Not points per game. Total points.
Total points. So he averages 32.1 over 10 games. And I think Luka's second and has played 9 games.
Then maybe Steph's averaging the most points per game too. Oh,
he's not.
Who is?
He's 2 or 3.
Embiid. Oh,
it goes Luka, Joel, KD, Steph, Donovan Mitchell.
But here's the thing. So the third total point scorer on that list is 28 points behind Steph and Luka.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, we're so early on, but I think if Steph averages over 30 and the Warriors finish top 4, he's winning that MVP.
Yeah.
I think Luka's numbers, if Steph keeps going at this pace for the whole season, I still think Luka's numbers will be better. Because Luka's, that would mean Steph averages 30 and whatever he's averaging, 6 and 6 or 5 and 6. And I think Luka's still going to be, Luka's at 33 basically, 32.9 and almost a triple-double. And I think Luka's kind of going to be, he might drop a point, but I think he'll probably average close to a 30-point triple-double. But I think Steph would still get MVP because I think we're going to be a lot higher in the rankings than Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Joel Embiid is averaging 31.9, so a point less than Luka. More rebounds at 11.5. but 5.5 steals, assists. More blocks, less steals, less turnovers.
Yeah, now the MVP might be him.
So I think, I still believe Steph is going to get there, but if we're looking at top 3, it's got to be Luka and Joel are like, they're right there.
Those 3.
Yeah, and that's Steph right there. I think if Steph over the course of a whole season maintains this pace, I think that also means the Warriors are probably like a 1 or 2 seed, and he gets it done.
You know what? I think I agree with you. I don't think they could be top 4. I think they'd need to be 1 or 2 for Steph to get it if the other guys are putting up the numbers that they are.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. It also kind of depends on where those other guys finish.
Yeah, exactly. Like if Dallas, let's say Luka finishes with very similar stat line, similar finishing in the standings team-wise, I bet you he'd get the edge because he's the new face of it,
Probably.
Could have won multiple more MVPs. Probably Kobe probably could have too. I'm sure MJ in his time could have, but people get tired and people want to see like the next one. And I think Luka would have that edge as being like Cody said, like the up and coming, like the next one. Like we want to see that. We want to see the change. We want to see the new.
Yeah. I think you're right about that, Jamie. Okay, the last question from once again Papa Smurf. This is actually pretty on target with what we've been talking about tonight. What does it say about LeBron's legacy to have 10,000 assists, but also 5,000 turnovers, more than any other player in history?
I was actually looking the other day at total turnovers all time. And yeah, LeBron leads it by like a landslide.
That's interesting.
It is very
why don't
interesting.
people talk about that more? I haven't heard that talked about much.
I mean, 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio is not.
It's not that good.
It's not terrible. It's not an elite point guard.
No.
He's also a power.
Yeah,
he's
point
forward,
small forward. Whatever.
So, yeah, I mean, and he's played a lot of games. He's played a lot of games compared to
usage rate
some of the other tops.
Honestly, you want to know something? It doesn't affect his legacy at all. No. I don't think anybody's looking at that.
No, that's the point that I didn't like. People aren't talking about that. I kind of feel like they should be a little more, but I guess they're not, and so it doesn't matter that much. And also, yeah, 2-to-1's not that bad, but it kind of makes me think like, oh, he's maybe not this like elite passer that people have kind of like called him. I don't know.
I do think he's an elite passer, but I think
he is a really good passer.
I think he just has played for so long and has had the ball in his hands so much that like he's gonna have the most turnovers ever. But he's not known when you watch him play in game throughout the season. You're not like, oh, he's a high turnover liability.
No,
like there's guys who are all-time greats who you do feel that way about. Like maybe
the only like notable thing is like, oh, he's not a low turnover guy though. That's for sure.
Like Steph probably has a ton of turnovers. Steph turns the ball over.
Yeah,
but it's part of his game because he's just out there being chaotic, and he gets loose because of it. But he also turns the ball over.
I bet KD's kind of a low turnover guy.
Yeah, well, I think LeBron also had a lot of turnovers in the earlier parts of his career. But I do think that's one thing that also goes against him in the debate with MJ. I think he has turnovers and blunders and kind of bonehead plays a lot more than Michael Jordan did. I think Michael Jordan is more clutch, and I think Michael Jordan was all around just a more closer to perfection player.
But again,
LeBron's clutch time stats though are actually really good.
That goes into more the like myth of Jordan, the like legacy of going first, because Jordan has bigger clutch moments, but I think LeBron has more clutch analytics and more buzzer beaters and more game winners than Jordan and things like that. Where it's like,
what is the ratio to games played? Because again, LeBron's played a lot more games than MJ has. Yeah. And Michael Jordan, like you're talking about the weight of a big shot. I mean, hitting
LeBron's
a game winner
like
in a final, in a game 7 finals, like that's,
yeah.
LeBron's like clutch time percentages though are better than Jordan's. Like, not counting stats.
But
like
if what Jamie's saying, but if you weight it to game 7s in the playoffs, Are his analytics better?
Yeah.
Which, that's hard to do the math, but
you wouldn't be able to. I'm just saying because these debates are all, it's your own opinion. If we want to base it all
once you start weighing, putting weight on different things, it's impossible to say.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the potty, boys.
It is spontaneous trivia time.
Oh, my favorite part.
Back at you in episode 2, everybody's favorite segment. You guys thought we were going to leave without a little trivia today.
I did.
No. And get excited because today's top prize is $500 for correct answer on the first attempt.
Oh my goodness!
This is trademarked. You read it at the bottom of the screen about the
how much
500.
money we're making on this podcast.
That's
exactly.
True. Nice, Court.
So rolling right in.
You're putting up the 500 this week.
It'll be in the fine print at the bottom of the screen.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So, perfect transition and rolling right into this category, actually. We had talked a little bit about best point guards ever, and we were talking a little bit about turnovers. So, I found an interesting stat today while I was doing a little bit of research, and funny that John Stockton, which we didn't talk about all-time, great point guards, but he's the all-time leader in steals and assists, correct? So we all know who the all-time leader in assists is, but do we know who the all-time leaders in turnovers were? And you guys had brought up LeBron James, right? Who's the number 2 on the all-time list? Hands up, no searching. Hands up, both of you, right now, Court.
I'm holding my phone.
Seems fishy.
Throw it in the air.
He could be using his thumbs. Who played for a really long time and had the ball in their hand?
All right, I've got mine.
Okay, say yours, Tor.
John Stockton.
Not bad. Chris Paul. No, he's going to have such low turnovers. Say Chris Paul.
Are you going to lock in that choice?
Mine's locked in.
Court is locked in. Court's
no,
always
it's not Chris Paul because his ratio is so good. I'm going to go with... Shoot, I have no idea. I'll stay with Chris Paul.
Okay, you're both wrong. Okay. And this is actually pretty funny because, as I mentioned, John Stockton was the number 1 in assists of all time. The number 2 in turnovers of all time, Karl Malone.
Oh, I wanted to say Karl Malone.
Dang, he did play forever.
He was the first name that popped in my head.
Damn. So you had the number 1 and 2 dynamic duo who was the top all-time in assists and top 2 all-time in turnovers.
The funny thing
That's
is,
I think stat.
The funny thing is, the stat for John Stockton is
painted.
The good stat, and the stat for Karl Malone is the bad stat. But I'd take Karl Malone over John Stockton. As a player.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I think we'll get into this maybe in the all-time point guard debate, but it is interesting where he would stack up with the rule change on
the free throw thing.
Yeah. So, but I thought that was interesting. Corey, you were right. John Stockton's number 4 on the all-time list.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
He played for a long time.
So
Chris Paul's not even close, huh? That was a terrible guess.
Chris Paul is numero. Chris Paul's a great point guard. He's not even in the top 50.
I was just thinking of who's played for a long time.
He's not even in the top 50, and he's played longer than Steph, who's number 13 on the all-time list.
Well, that's why he's...
Oh. Sorry. This is just this year. This is just this year.
Karl Malone has the most turnovers this year?
No. The list I was looking at.
Yeah. But Chris Paul, I think that's part of the reason why he's such a great point guard. Is I think his assist to turnover ratio is crazy.
Is really good, huh? Yeah.
Chris
the late
Paul
great Gene Cotter used to say if you could have a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. You can play at any level.
That's right.
If you can have that ratio at that level, right? Yeah. That's kind of like the
if
trick.
you can do that, you can play.
Yeah.
So Chris Paul is the number 32 on the all-time list. Pretty good.
Pretty good for how long he's played. He's played a long time.
Steph is 37. Do you guys want to take a stab at who number 3 is on the list? So we know LeBron's 1, Karl Malone is 2, number 3, and then we know that John Stockton's number 4. So who's number 3?
Vince Carter.
I don't think Vince Carter had the ball in his hands enough, even though he played so long. I feel like, it was probably up there. There's no way he's number 3 at this point, but like Russ has got to be up there.
Yeah, Russ could be up there.
Like Russ, is Russ top 10, Jamie?
He is.
Yeah.
Is he number 3?
Yeah.
I need locked-in choices, boys.
I'm locked in with Vince Carter.
Fuck it, I'll take Russ.
I'm going longevity.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling! We have our first ever trivia winner!
Who is
Cody Love!
No
you
way!
are wrong! And Court Young! You are right! It is Russell Westbrook!
Oh my god.
Let's go!
Oh,
loser, Cody!
You telling me I owe Court $500?
You owe Court $500 times 10 for the extra bonus trivia prize.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
Court, you really made out this week, buddy. Congratulations. Yeah. Cody, thank you as always for sponsoring this segment. And boys, until next time.
I'm going to have to
that
make
was
a lot of
the
week to pay off
dunking on Cody.
Good thing you have your high noon sponsorships. Can we get one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Court. Yes, we can. And in fact, this week, it's from Black Cherry. And it's one of the most decadent flavors of all time. Jamie, anything to say about it?
I love a good Black Cherry.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Thanks for watching Third Take. We are not your first or second best NBA podcast, but we strongly believe we're your number 1 third choice. We'll see you next week.
I have one thing to say before we go.
Okay.
Court, who's your favorite player in the league?
Dang. Dame Lillard.
And it probably starts with the last letter of the alphabet.
Oh, Zubac.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling! That's number 1 for the episode. And at least the streak keeps going.
Yeah, good job.